maybe attract more visitors and things. But me and my partner Cardi over here are going to go try to camp in an old iron furnace here in Kentucky, and it may end up raining on us. It looks like it may rain. Let's see. If I can turn that around, I'd show it. But actually, that looks like there's rain right in front of us. Actually, we're about to drive into rain. That's rain right there. It's beautiful here, though, coming down this mountain. And now it's August, so we've still got plenty of green on the trees. I always love coming down this mountain, and in the fall time, it's really pretty here. Do your laugh. Huh? Do your laugh.
And that was you.
Nope. I just leave the camera on him.
No, don't.
Maybe so.
Wow.
Here's the furnace.
This is cool.
A lot of graffiti and stuff on inside, which has to be expected.
Okay.
This is kind of cool. Like furnace is in really good shape.
Oh yeah, look up there.
This is an old iron furnace here in Kentucky. Still kind of sketchy being inside of it. Just to know if this thing did collapse, you would be done for.
I don't see footprints. Did I go to the door there?
It is big. I'll tell you how old it is. One person here right now, and we're gonna try to do some stealth camping here, but I want this person to clear out first. This is a public area, so we're over there in the van. Look at the size of this sycamore here. It's a big sycamore tree, which it seems like most of them are, but that one is extra huge. There's a bunch of them over here by this river. From what I've heard, they like to grow by water, and I've always noticed it seems like they're by creeks and rivers. And here comes the rain. Let's get under these trees a little bit. Hey, watch the bank. It's pretty steep over there. So anyways, our idea tonight is to try to do some stealth camping in this big iron furnace, and this thing is awesome.
Yeah, it is. We also see inside the sycamore.
I mean, this thing is, it's something to see something that old that's still in that good a shape. I mean, it just shows you how skilled the craftsman was. Sure, there's more than one that did this, many workers I'd say, but it just shows you how skilled they were to be able to make something. But the rain is really coming down now, so we're going to try to look at that, how pretty on the river. We're going to try to get under this tree and get a little bit of cover anyways.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that helped a lot.
Oh yeah.
That helped a lot. Huh?
Can I try climbing it?
No, it's too wet for that. But anyways, here's the river. And I do believe this is the Red River here in Kentucky. Many people have probably heard of the Red River Gorge. A lot of people from out of state go there for sightseeing and to Natural Bridge, which is another place that we intend to cover in some of the videos. And this is, as you can hear, it's pretty close to the road. The main road is right up there. This is a little town. The county is Bath County here in Kentucky. It's a small town. Owingsville is the town, but and we're not right next to the town or anything, but this road runs from the town and leads a lot of people to where they need to go, whether it's a home or to the surrounding counties. So it's, as you can see, it's kind of busy road. But that furnace, wow, it's really neat. It's another massive sycamore here. I told Carter to get in the van for a little bit because it is thundering out here, and I seen on my phone just the other day where I think 4 people were struck by lightning and 2 of them died, and they were standing under a tree to try to get out of the rain, I guess, kind of like I am right now in a way. I'm not really doing it to get out of the rain, I'm doing it really just to record the tree, but either way I'm next to a tree in a thunderstorm. So trash can. I noticed too that there's a trail over here. Looks like leads down to the river. And it looks like it'd be very easy to slip on right now too. I believe the river is up a little bit right now. You can see it's going pretty quick. I would hate to get in one of those, and I've heard a lot of stories about people. Actually, I had my great papaw, that's what we call him here in Kentucky. My great papaw, his brother drowned in a river that they lived next to when they were children. And I think my papaw said he seen him go under, and he never came back up. And they looked for him for hours, if I'm not mistaken. It may have even been days, I can't remember. My papaw, who told me this story, has passed away since. Or it may have been another family member that told me the story, but I remember that they had some sort of hooks that they would drag the bottom of the river with, and they ended up hooking his body like that and bringing him out, and it's just horrible. That's why when I was a little kid, you know, we would go to rivers and stuff and swim a lot, but I will not take my kids to a river to swim because of how dangerous they are. The underwater current, I mean, if it gets a hold of you, it's so strong, there's really not a lot you can do. We've also got cottonmouths, copperheads, and rattlesnakes in this area too, so I want to be sure to watch that. That is a beautiful tree there too. I don't believe that's a sycamore. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it is. And I always tell when you look up near the top of those, yeah, both of these are sycamores. Look at the roots on these things, how exposed they are. Found me a cool little walking stick. I think it's a sycamore branch. Pretty stout. Sycamore is, I split fire. I have my own business, and I split firewood and sell it full time in the winter time. So I hand split everything. I've had a wood log splitter before and I sold it. I'm not a big fan of log splitters, but I hand split everything, and the hardest wood, I think, there was one other that may have been harder, but one of the hardest woods I've ever come across to split by hand is sycamore. And I kind of researched it online and found out that they used to be used as butcher blocks. So I guess that's why it's so strong, it's so hard to split. They use them as butcher blocks, you know. So that tells you a lot about how strong sycamore is. I mean, I hate splitting it. It seems like for some reason, if that particular wood, if it's seasoned, it splits easier. And I think for some other wood species, if they're seasoned, they're harder to split. I've still got a lot of learning to do about it. I've been doing it for years now, but there's so many different woods. Mainly around here, what I try to get is oak. We have red and white oak. Locust is another good hardwood that we have. And ash. But I get a lot of red and white oak here. And people seem to love that when it's seasoned. There's so many places local that are just beautiful and people miss out on them. Oh, look at that. Just now seeing that. Ugh. What kind of skull that is. It almost looks like a dog or something. It almost looks like a dog skull. Maybe a coyote. Definitely not a, I mean, it definitely looks like some sort of dog or coyote skull. Look at the teeth on it. Back and got little Cardi because I knew he'd probably be interested in the skull. Pick it up. No telling how long it's been sitting there. Well, that's pretty neat. It definitely looks like a coyote or a dog one.
Yes.
The snout on it just is long, and
A
lot of the teeth are gone. I mean, the canines would have been right here. Would have been right around there, and they're gone. Better view of the river here. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Red River, what people call the Red River Gorge, if I'm not mistaken. It's beautiful, but at the same time, nature is beautiful, but at the same time, very dangerous. You always just gotta be careful no matter what you're doing. If you haven't been to Kentucky, I would definitely recommend checking out the Red River Gorge and Natural Bridge. Definitely Natural Bridge even more. I think they're turning that into some sort of resort or something to maybe attract more visitors and things, but cut. All I gotta do is cut that part out. Sort of mushroom. I don't know. Probably some bushcrafter out there that can tell if that's edible or not. I'm not a professional bushcrafter by any means. I just like to build camps and have an interest in it. Building camps and the camp, especially with my kids, they really enjoy it too. But somebody can probably tell me if that's edible or not. I'm not eating it, of course, but if I knew for a fact that it was edible, I might try. Pretty neat though. All right. So for some reason, the microphone on my iPhone, I've damaged it or something. I mean, all of this footage that I got here of me and my little boy near this river, the audio was messed up on pretty much all of it. I recorded hours, if I'm not mistaken, hours worth of footage before I realized, again, my microphone was messing up. Because if you've seen the first video on my channel, you'll realize that the audio on it was messed up as well. But I had tried to clean out the speaker on my phone and thought that fixed it. I even tested it at home and it seemed to be fixed. And then after I went back and watched some of the footage, I realized a lot of it, the microphone had messed up and there was no audio in it. And so what I'm going to do is just try to add in the audio as I'm doing here. That way you're not just watching me talk and no words come out. But anyways, at this point in the video, I think at this point there are 2 vehicles there now. It is a public place, and me and him just went down by the river and explored a little bit. We really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a beautiful location. He was really interested in that skull. I knew he would be. When I was a little kid and I found something like that, I just thought it was so cool for whatever reason. Even as an adult, when I find something like that, still it's very interesting. And that's a local place. It's not far away from us, maybe 25 minutes or so. It's a county over. And I'd been there before, but it had been years ago. But I'd never really explored it like we did here, and I really enjoyed it. I'm just starting up this YouTube thing, and to be honest, the reason why is because I have some extra time right now. I run my own business, and sometimes it's slower than other times, and I was trying to think of something else that I could do to make a little more money with my time, and so I thought about YouTube. And so I'm going to try this out and see how it goes. I'm a landscaper full-time. I do landscaping, and then in the wintertime I sell firewood full-time, because obviously the landscaping kind of slows down around that time of year. And this YouTube thing is just going to be something that I can do with my family. The kid you see, the little boy that you see with me, is my oldest boy, Carter. He's 9. I have another son who is 5, and then I have a little girl who is 4, and another little girl who is about to be 7 months, and then my wife. So we're a family of 6, and my wife is a stay-at-home mother. So I guess what I'm doing with these scenes right here is just kind of telling you about my life a little bit and explaining it. And you may not be interested in that in the least bit, but I'm just trying to think of something to add in here. So this is me starting a YouTube channel and us going. The theme for this pretty much is going to be us going and camping, bushcrafting, and stealth camping as well. Like this one I've kind of thought was maybe somewhat of a stealth camp, because we were kind of trying to stay hidden in this. You see another huge sycamore tree. There's a lot of them here, and they are beautiful. And that one, you may not be able to tell just how big it is. Like you see him next to it. I'm guessing that's 4.5 feet wide, and it's a huge tree. And that, I mean, there's no telling how many years old that tree is. It's really interesting to see things like that. And then there's other states too where there's trees that probably are way bigger than that, I'm sure. But to me, sycamores are pretty anyways. But I'm about to end it here. We were just trying to stay by the river until the people went away, and I think at this point we kind of discovered that they're gone, or the last one's leaving. I think we may have the place to ourselves now. It looks like it's. I think he left, and I don't see the other vehicle. Scout it out. Scout it out, Scout. See what he comes up with. Be stealthy. Be stealthy. Oh, we're clear. We're good. I could see how stealth camping would be really fun. Okay, we're good now. I'm going to turn the camera around and show this area a little bit, and I'm going to try to find out if it's legal to be here or not. I know it's legal to be here. I'm going to see if it's legal to be inside the furnace and maybe camp. I don't know how I'm going to do that exactly. Maybe they got a sign that more information or something. Anyways, we're going to check it out now. Here's the grill I was talking about. Pretty neat little grill. Pretty simple. So I've been here a long time. Okay.
Up.
Not very sturdy.
You broke it.
I better just keep my hands off of those.
Yeah.
I tried to lift it up and it came off that easy, so it'll still work. I mean, that's like a hot plate, I guess, if you got a fire under it, but And there's a rack, so it'll work for what we got.
Yeah, we got
But
some
at the
here.
same time, that's so wet. It's gonna be, I don't think it's supposed to rain for the rest of the day. Look at this furnace. How beautiful. This thing is beautiful. Okay, I feel a lot more comfortable now talking to my phone when nobody's here.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people do that. I've seen people walk around in parking lots with them. And I mean, that's dedication to your content, but
Hey,
that's a beautiful sycamore, huge sycamore.
yeah,
It's also pretty how they did these rocks around it.
yeah, you can also see inside of it.
All right, here we are at the sycamore again. I've come back into adding the audio in because I noticed it was messed up here again, and this whole video is kind of off and on like that, and the audio just goes in and out, and rather than deal with that, I thought it would be better for me to just add the audio in manually like I'm doing here. But here's a good view of the furnace here, and look how beautiful this thing is. I mean, look at the entrance on it. Look at the craftsmanship in that. And I think that sign said, if I'm not mistaken, the thing was made in the 1700s, or I know that's when it was saying they built some of them. I can't remember if this particular one was the 1700s or the 1800s. But either way, it's either the 17 or the 1800s. That's how old this thing is. Very beautiful. I love the entrance on it. And just look at the stones. I mean, they had to have, I don't know how else they would have done them then by hand, unless, they used some kind of ropes and some kind of horse that they made. But I just think that's really interesting here. All right, I want to show you this furnace now that everybody's gone. Just kind of, if I'm not mistaken from what I've read, these things are old iron furnaces. And they use these to, I guess, smelt iron. And that's how they got a lot of their iron supply here in Kentucky, in this area, this local area. There's more than one. I mean, back then they may have had many, but I only know of two right now. I'm sure there's probably a lot more than that. But I've been to this one years ago and took pictures at it. Let's go look at the inside. And we're gonna walk up these steps here too. They go around it. Haven't been there yet. Another huge sycamore tree, and that is beautiful. As you can see, one of the buffs kind of overhangs it. I actually don't. Yeah, there's a lot of little trees and stuff up there too. Let me see again what it looks like on that side. And look, I mean, just look at the girth of that. Look how wide that is. That's beautiful. Look at the craftsmanship in that. That's something to look at. I'm not very good at doing this, talking like this. If there's people here, I probably couldn't do it. I probably could, but I'd feel like a dummy. I definitely wouldn't want to know the people. That's just me. My wife, if she watches this, will laugh. She laughed at my first video. But anyways, this is like a big iron beam here. I didn't even notice that before. I thought it was just all stone, but I guess back then they had access to iron too, of course. So way back in time, they had access to iron. Um, but look at the beams. Those beams are wow. I mean, look how wide this. I wanted to add this in here really quick. It's so interesting. I did not notice this until I rewatched this. Look beside my hand here. See the handprint? There's a handprint, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's pretty clear even. I did not even notice that until I rewatched this. But my mother was the one telling me about it. There was supposedly a slave got burned alive in this furnace, and they said you could still see his handprints on it. If you need to rewind back and pause that, look at it. That's very interesting. I did not realize that until just now when I was rewatching this. Me and my little boy actually looked all through this furnace looking for handprints, and they're on that iron beam, or at least one of them was. That was a pretty clear. It definitely looked like a handprint, and I mean that was not like sunk into the iron. That was actually, it was like standing out, like you could rub your hand across it from what I could tell right there and feel it. But look close to my hand there and you can see what looks like a handprint. Now that's very interesting. I'll have to show that to my little boy. See how much more narrow. I don't know if you can tell that on here, but it narrows a whole lot up towards the top. It looks like you can tell somewhat, but not really exactly. Here at the bottom, it looks like it's probably 10 or 12 feet wide. As as this goes from wall to wall. And up there at the top, it looks like it's maybe 3.5 feet wide. Really narrows, but I mean, look at the craftsmanship in this. Every stone that was laid upon another, and then how many people did this thing serve? You know, with the iron that was forged in it, or smelted, however they did it. Else knows a lot better than me about that. I'm not very educated in that stuff. Interested in it. I'd like to get more educated in it. That would also be a good area for a snake up there. Down here you can see pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, but up here under these leaves, I want to be careful with that. I'm not sure what this is. Somebody looks like just made a little wall in here. I'll tell you what that would be awesome for is a firewall.
Oh yeah.
To reflect the heat, you know, and then your smoke goes right up there. So another iron beam here. Really? Okay, I'm inserting audio here again because it was messed up here, but we're going up the steps here. There's a sign at the top, and we hadn't read it at this point, but it tells the date, I believe, of when this one was made, and I think it tells of some other ones and their purpose and everything. Maybe even tells who made them. But look at some of these stones. One of those stones right there is what I'm talking about. It's almost, it looks like 3 feet wide, long, and about 1.5 feet thick. I mean, so those are some huge stones. I'm still so interested that handprint was there. I just found that in this video while I was watching it. That is something. Old Slate Furnace. Dedicated July 1st, 1970. Owingsville, JC's. So 1970 is when I guess they dedicated it or whatever. Here's the sign that tells more about it. And you can pause if you want and read that. Let's see, since 1791, ranked 3rd in U.S. The other sign, or the other side of the sign, actually says a little bit more as well. But this is so interesting. I mean, I'm even more interested now that I've seen that handprint. I literally did not see that until I got home and started editing this video, and I put my hand right next to that handprint just about. It even looked to be similar size of mine. So he was a grown man, from what I heard, and a slave man. So I mean, it's sad really that it is true. It's very interesting, but that's sad. But I mean, is anybody that knows a little bit more about how all this works? I mean, how does that even happen? If your hand's there and it gets really hot, I mean, would that actually leave a handprint on a furnace to where it actually sticks up? What makes it? How does that even happen? I'm guessing if it was that hot, your hand would stick to it. I don't know. I've never touched anything that hot. But then again, maybe not. I would never want to. But like I said, it's really sad to even hear that. I heard it before, you know. I thought maybe it was a rumor. Even when me and my little boy were there, I think I was telling him, I think that's, you know, just a myth. I think that's just a rumor. I don't think that actually happened. But there was a pretty clear handprint there, it looked like, and I'm guessing if I went back there, I could maybe even find the other one, because from what I heard, there were 2. And that is, wow, that just makes it so much more interesting if that's true. My hand was nearly next to it, and it literally looked just like fingers. I mean, even how your middle finger is longer than, you know, than your pointy finger and your ring finger, it just looked like a hand, clearly. And it looked like it was sticking up rather than, you know, sticking in. I'm sure your hand wouldn't cause the iron to melt to where it sunk in, you know. I guess it would leave a raised edge on the iron if that were to ever happen. I'm not sure. But it's very interesting. Right around, not the entrance we just went in, but the other entrance is the one that has the beam with that handprint on it. And wow, that is interesting. Covering it and some of the plants and trees and weeds growing up there. Interesting. Somebody could probably comment and tell me, yeah, this is very illegal and you should know that. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know. Another interesting story too. I think my mom told me this years ago, but from what she told me, there was they burned a man alive in this years ago, and that could very well be a myth. Almost think that it is, but they said that his handprints are on the wall in there somewhere, and I didn't really think to look while I was in there, but I kind of think it's a myth. But supposedly the man was a slave, and he was burned alive in there. Like I said, that could very well just be a myth, a made-up lie. You know how things go. Sometimes people like to talk and spread things, and then when it gets to this person, somebody's added to it, and then the next person they add to it. I like to hear stories, but you can't always believe what you hear. There's handprints in here. I don't see them, but really, if there was handprints in here, I would think somebody would probably paint next to it and even write, this is handprints. That's what I was looking for. I don't think there is any in here. I think that's just made up. I hope that's made up. I hope that's not true, but
Yeah, hopefully.
and could you imagine how hot something like this would get?
Yeah.
To melt iron? I'm not sure what kind of heat you need for that, but I mean, look at this thing. It would produce some great amounts of heat. To learn more about that because I wonder what kind of woods would have to be used for that, or if it would have to be coal or what to get it that hot.
Yeah.
I said I sell firewood myself, but it'd be interesting to learn how do you get the kind of heat that you need to melt iron, because that's got to be really hot. Beautiful sycamore trees all around here. I love sycamores. They're so easy to tell. For one, they're just so big. And then at the bottom, they're always darker, and the bark changes as it goes up, as you see on that one. It's like it sheds the bark off on the top. See how it's really pretty white at the top. There's a lot of those here in Kentucky, next to Kentucky, next to rivers and things. And I would guess other states too probably have a lot of those. I'm not sure. I haven't traveled as much as I'd like to. Anyways, we're gonna go take a look around a little bit more, see what we see.
Oh, red rock.
Go ahead, Carter. You can walk in front of me so you can kind of explore and I can record you. And as you can see, we're both pretty muddy. I think Carter's a little muddier than I am because he's went down.
Yeah, quite a bit because my shoes don't have that good grip.
I've got steel toes on, so mine probably have better grip than those little Minecrafts there.
Way better.
Really careful here because that's a steep bank, and if you went down over it, I mean, that's pretty much you're just down. Yeah, it would be very hard to get up that. Really would. I would not want to try to get up that bank. As wet as it is and stuff, I mean, you might just have to swim somehow, somewhere to get out. I don't want to find out. Just stay away from the edge. I believe the water is up here above average level. Beautiful tree right there. Moss growing on it. Really pretty areas here. Stealth camping in an iron furnace. Now tell me that isn't pretty cool. I've watched some of the other stealth campers on there and they had some really interesting footage, and when I seen that furnace, I just thought to myself, wow, that would be an interesting video. And it sounds like we may have company again. I hope not. As I was saying, that's actually why I didn't go to another furnace that I found online, because it's next to a campground. But look at that thing. I mean, you may not be able to tell how thick these things are.
They're huge.
I'm guessing that one at the bottom is another 5-footer at the bottom.
There's another one.
And you see how tall the thing is, and then that pretty white at the top as the bark peels off. I'm not sure why the bark peels off at the top and stays on the bottom the way they do. There's another one.
Yeah, it's a hook. What's a hook?
Okay, here's a view from the river looking towards the furnace. There's our van. The old Rogers Mobile, we call it. Me and Cardi named it that. And then there's the iron furnace, which is really cool. Look at that thing. So here's a view from the river. There's the entrance up there in the road. There's the entrance. And then it just circles around and has a little, sort of a little pool in over there. Some picnic tables. It would be a great area, honestly, if you're in Kentucky and maybe you got family here or something that's having, it'd be a good place to have a birthday party, a family get together. I mean, it really would, especially now that they've cleared this out down here. I mean, if they keep this cleared out down here, and it looks like they may be intending to, I hope they do.
Yeah.
This should eventually be a little more grass. It's so shaded here. I don't know, exactly how grassy it will be, but eventually, hopefully, it'll be more grass. And I mean, this area is beautiful. It has picnic tables, beautiful scenery, the furnace, a grill. It's just a good place to get together with family and friends.
That's not what the grill's there.
And the river, not to mention the river, of course.
Yeah.
The Red River, if I'm not mistaken. If they close this at a certain time, they've got a gate over there, and I have seen it closed before, so it very well could be that somebody comes over here and closes that gate at nighttime or after a certain time.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case, because if that's the case, I would have to park. I'd have to park way down the road. There's a church down the road, but it's probably at least half a mile, and I really don't want to walk if I can avoid it. Not that I care to walk a half a mile, I'd rather not, but it could be possibly the raining, and then out here in the country, a lot of people have big dogs, and I don't want to get attacked by a big dog. I don't want my little boy getting attacked by a big dog. So if one did come, I could push him and let it get him while I ran.
I got a bug in my eye.
That's maybe not, but it would probably go for the fat one. So, anyways, hopefully they don't come and try to close that.
Yeah,
It could be that they just close it, if it's really flooded through here or something. That could be why the gate's there. Could be that they just close it whenever the water gets up really high for people's safety.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's the case. I don't really understand why they would close it. There's nothing to steal here or anything like that, but and then people could still get in if they wanted to easily. But I'm guessing it's probably for safety reasons. Yeah. Probably the river gets up. Anyways, we'll hopefully find out later. Welcome Bourbon Iron Furnace, Bath County Park, picnic area, closed at dusk. Not good. Okay, there's our answer. Me and Carter needed to get our stealth camp strength up. Diet Mountain Dew,
chips.
Bacon,
And also
bacon cheddar fries, and L8 made right in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Hey, if you haven't ever tried this stuff, L8.
It's the stuff.
It's good.
Yeah, really good.
It's really good. Some people either love it or they hate it. A lot of people in Kentucky love it. I love it.
Me
Corey
too.
loves it. My kids love it. My wife loves it. I drink diet. My wife hates diet. I really don't like regular anymore. I've been drinking diet since I was 13 years old. I'm 30 years old now, so.
I didn't know you're 13. Maybe you were drinking diet.
I think I was 13 or 14. And I started out with Diet Mountain Dew, what I'm drinking right now, and then I moved over to Diet L8. Diet L8's way better to me, but it gives me acid reflux really bad, though. That's the only thing about it.
It's probably good.
Anyways, we're gonna chow down and get our bushcraft and stealth camp strength up, and then
Shout out. Hey,
head to the furnace. Go ahead, Cardi.
Okay, I think we're almost at the furnace now. We can switch rooms. Last time we took the last one. And we're almost there.
I wouldn't doubt, honestly, if this gate ain't closed. I really would not doubt it. It's
What?
not yet, but and there's a vehicle there too.
Oh,
That may be why it's not closed. There. This is a bad spot to be sitting too. If a vehicle comes around this curve, we're in trouble.
there you go, down to
That may be who shuts it up though, because he let nobody's out. vehicle here again. So sitting here in our vehicle in our van. We're out. I'm worried after seeing that sign that said closed at dusk that could be the person that closes it. I could be wrong. I don't know. I got out of that vehicle just now and definitely wondering about me, looking at the license plate and just kind of nosy really the way he did it. But for what he's doing, he got out and got a water and then looked at me and got back in. Maybe the guy's planning to do what I'm doing. Maybe he wants to camp here. Maybe he seen me recording on my phone and thinks I'm a weirdo because I was recording. Maybe he's looking in his rearview mirror right now and sees it again. Maybe I'll weird him out and he'll leave. That's what we hope for. Alright. Got my head on. This guy's weirding me out. He's leaving. Go ahead and go and come back in a little bit. This guy sure ain't gonna go. It don't look like. But we will be back. Hey, sir. Pretty good. How are you? Are you the one that closes the gate? Oh, okay. I didn't know if that's what you're doing or what. Do you know if they do close it? They don't close it? Okay. I didn't know. Yeah, I know I've never seen it close very often. I think maybe if it's a flood or something, maybe they do. Right. Right. All right. Well, sir, it's good talking to you. No, me and him, what we was going to do is just start a little fire over there in that little grill, and that's why I was asking if they closed it or not. Okay, so that guy said he's been here all hours of the night. I'm guessing he maybe parks and camps there. Not at all saying there's nothing wrong with that. So, I mean, that's good news, though. That's good news. So they don't close the gate, according to that guy. I'm glad to hear that. That's really good for us. So, that way it's good and bad, because if that guy's going to stay there, it's really not good. He even seemed to be inquiring what we were up to, what's going on tonight, you know. So I have a feeling that's his spot where he's staying. Maybe he's been doing it for a while. But maybe intruding upon him a little bit tonight. Anyways, we plan to wait until it gets dark and then return back there. We're going down the road a little ways. We're gonna sit at this McDonald's probably, or one of the gas stations here. And once it gets dark, we're gonna head back, and he very well may be there still. I kind of looked for him to be honest, after talking to him just now. It almost seemed like he was just wondering what we were doing there. And he said he's been there all hours of the night. So if he's been there all hours of the night, obviously he stayed there. Anyways, so that's interesting. We know then that we can do it. The gate won't be closed, but at the same time, somebody else is there, you know, so we'll see how it goes. That vehicle sounds rough. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. So obviously he's planning to camp here, which is what I figured. There's his vehicle right back there, and he's dimmed his lights. Probably got the vehicle running to keep it cool or something. Anyways, he's back over that way. That's really not good. He's pretty much facing directly in the furnace, so I don't want this. This guy's planning to camp here all night, obviously in his car. Not good for us. Nope. We're gonna try to find some. Carter's got some. We're gonna try to find some dry wood and dry limbs. It's gonna be hard to do in all this, but and try to get a fire going and make some tenderloin sandwiches. That's the plan, anyways. I guess that guy is, and this is maybe where he stays for the night. The way he described it to me, he's stayed here, you know, quite a few times. Have no problem with that, you know. I'd rather been here alone. The main thing I'm worried about is him. The camp and the furnace is him reporting us for that. I don't know if he'll do that or not. We'll see how it goes. Worries me is there are black bear out here, coyotes. One thing, I haven't done nothing like this for a while. Really. I mean, I did a bushcraft shelter a while back. The only other video on my channel. I started doing this. Out here in nature, you hear the sounds, and when you're with your family, it's just really nice. Wow, this spot right here can be a little scary too, but
Scary but nice.
pretty cool. Looking good. And Cardi's gonna feast, ain't we, Cardi? Good. Let's see what we got here. That little griddle, whatever you call that thing, looks like they just welded a piece of metal onto the rack. Working good. Yeah, I know how they smell good, beers. It's not nothing I want to risk. Cardi, you want A1 on yours or no? A little? Okay, a little. Anyways, we're gonna eat in the van because I'm worried about bears. Not a risk I'm willing to take, especially with my little boy. Let's see what we got here.
Which one's mine?
We got 3 tenderloin sandwiches with A1, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more tenderloins, and I'm pretty hungry. I don't know about Cardi.
Which one's mine?
So yours has a little bit, so I think it was this one. Wait, maybe not. That one's yours. All right. Let's thank God for this. Heavenly Father, we praise you and we thank you, O Lord, for this food and drink that you provided for us. We ask, God, that you bless us and allow it to strengthen and nourish us and give us the opportunity, O Lord, to help those that are less fortunate than us in any way that we can. In the name of Jesus, amen. Lock these doors and try these out. Now I'm hungry. Cardi's pretty sensitive to seasoning, so that's why it's spicy to him.
Oh.
Go get your pop. Okay. Like I said, the phone died on me. I had to hook it up in my van here. Like I said, we're in the van now, eating tenderloins with A1 tenderloin sandwiches here. They turned out really good actually off of that little griddle. Corey's over there eating his. But anyways, we're gonna eat these and probably soon get ready for bed. Oh, it's pretty creepy out here at nighttime, not gonna lie. Come on, Cordy. Here we go. Let's set up a spot right here. There. Okay. Now there's pillow. It's relatively dry in here, not too bad, so. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, come on, Cordy. Come on. It's definitely a pretty place. There's still traffic on the road. So far, we've had no trouble. The one guy left. Look at this thing on the inside. I'm not gonna lie, it's creepy. It is creepy. Especially to hear a story of somebody being burned alive in it, and I don't know if that's true or not, but either way, it's creepy, isn't it, Cardi? Yeah. But anyways, got a good pallet made, blanket, everything we need. The weather tonight is not too bad. Drizzling a little bit, but this thing right here honestly keeps you pretty dry. And then if it's cool out. This morning it was actually really hot. I just light real quick. All right, but anyways, we will continue in the morning from here. I think it's around 10 o'clock or so, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Stealth camping in an old iron furnace. That's really creepy at nighttime. Black bears in the area. Mm-hmm. We got the old furnace lit back up again. I don't know if anybody starts fires in here or not, but
back here and you look up, you can't really see them.
Here we are the next morning and cooking some breakfast on the fire in the furnace. That's pretty interesting. Let's check out these handprints now that I know where they're at. Now, it's definitely handprints without a doubt. But I don't know exactly. 2 handprints right there on this metal beam. I don't know exactly if the story behind those is true or not. That supposedly a slave was burned alive in here. I'm not sure if that's true or not. That could just be a myth. Somebody could have put those handprints on there intentionally, and somebody could have. You can definitely feel them. They definitely stick out. The edges are, yeah, you can feel them.
You can even put your hand in them.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't think if somebody stuck their hand on something like that, that would even cause that to happen, would it? Would it cause the iron to protrude like that? I don't know. It is interesting, though, really interesting. I'm guessing that those handprints were put there when the beam was put in, and I'm guessing the beam was put in when this thing was made, so that should be over 200 years ago, either way.
Really?
So I head home for too long. Ashes all in the food if I can avoid it. I went ahead and did this manually again because of the audio, but this is coming to the end of the camping trip here at the old iron furnace in Owingsville here in Kentucky. And we enjoyed it, and we intend to do more videos like this. If y'all don't mind, like and subscribe and comment what kind of stuff you'd like to see more, whether it's bushcraft or whatever that may be. Thanks for watching, and God bless. We appreciate it a whole lot, and like I said, just let us know what you like. Take care.